And we're back for another episode of the Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast. This is your host, Chambers, here, along with the good guy, Jamal, at Giant Crab on Twitter. What's up, brother? How you feeling today?
Not bad. Hanging in there.
Cool. Yeah, so we're here Friday because we had some obligations come up on Thursday, but we like to get out our weekly. Because we're a team, had obligations on Thursday, so we like to get out a weekly episode, and so we're here Friday to give you guys something. But we're not doing it alone tonight. We got the Teflon Don, Edward Dow, the founder of the One Gated Community. What's going on?
And just enjoying my Friday with a nice bottle of Kindle Livet right here. So, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Good. Busy week for you guys.
Yeah, busy week, happy week, all around. I think the celebration hasn't stopped since last Friday. So, we're still drinking, we're still having a good time, and the phones and the Twitter's going crazy. But overall, yeah, it's the Crab knows because he talked about it a long time ago. He's finally the champion of everybody, whether you like it or not, and to the 1% era.
The 1% era. Before we get into some wrestling business, let's make some money today. What's the current stock tip, man?
Oh my God. It's like I tried to get everybody on this morning. You had a big tech crunch, and I'm trying to tell everybody, if you ever been to a Kroger down south, Kroger is what you want to jump on. Because Kroger will be bought by Amazon by next year. I guarantee you that. So you're all looking at this Amazon juggernaut, and you're looking at what the pieces they're trying to put together. And I think Kroger falls in line with what they're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens by the fourth quarter. So I'm telling people, hey, buy and go strong with it. Stay away from the tech crunch right now. But Kroger would be my dark horse, and I think it'll be a big triple-figure payoff if you got enough patience in a few months in hand. So
we get this in the show there if you want. And it wouldn't be right if I didn't go to our weekly movie reviews. Jamal, what you got for us this week?
So this week, I saw 3 movies that are going to be released this weekend. The first one, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the good is Girls' Night. I like that. Yep, I was surprised at how much I liked it. It's an R-rated comedy about 4 your friends that kind of fell out of favor. Life happens, and then they go to the Essence Music Festival for to rekindle their friendship, and things go hilariously out of control. You could draw comparisons to Bridesmaids or Bad Moms or The Hangover, but the difference is that this is realistically funny, and it's adult humor for adults in very real situations. It's not like a Seth Rogen movie where you have like a drunken penguin go tobogganing down and blows up a gas station. Nothing makes sense in those movies, but somehow it's funny. The bad, which really isn't that bad, is Dunkirk. If you're a Christopher Nolan fan, then obviously you've already seen it twice. But it's about the British 400,000 British troops being saved on the Dunkirk beach in northern France during World War II. It's a wonderfully, beautifully shot movie, and it's the only reason why you should see it in real IMAX. However, I don't really care about any of these characters, and and Hans Zimmer may be tone deaf. I think he has an inner ear infection or something like that because the soundtrack is ridiculous. Unless you actually liked Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, or Interstellar. If that's your jam, then Hans Zimmer's World War II dubstep mixtape, that's what you'll get for an hour and a half. So yeah, it's an hour and 47 minutes, which is shorter than Nolan's normal movies, thank God. But honestly, it's not as good as the hype will lead you to believe. If you haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge from last year, do that instead this weekend. And the ugly is Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Yeah.
And the problem with so Luc Besson, famous French director, he did The Professional and District B13 and a bunch of other movies in France. He took to the Kickstarter and raised $210 million, whatever that is in euros, to make this the biggest independent movie of all time. But it sucks. The problem, it's based on a 1960s French comic book about space cops that fall in love because they're partners, like every other, woman and intergender cop duo does. But in the movie, it's just dumb. There's some names to know in it. Cara Delevingne, Dane DeHaan, Clive Owen are in it. But the long short of it is, when you spend that much money on special effects and the best acting performance is from Rihanna, that's going to be a bad time. So if you have the kids, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is way too long for a movie like that. But yeah, that was a bit rough. So there's some other stuff that I saw that comes out next weekend. I will be seeing Detroit on Wednesday.
Can't
so
wait.
I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, it was a decent week of the movie so far this weekend.
And I went to see Annabelle this week, and Jamal's not a fan of that genre, but I thought it was a very solid movie for a horror movie, because they actually had a plot and the meaning to it, and characters was pretty consistent. Annabelle is within the Conjuring universe, or whatever you want to call it, so it made ties to the other movies, and it was just well done. I really had no complaints about it. Considering that I seen that movie Wish Upon last week, which was absolutely horrible, it was good to see something a little bit more refreshing from the horror genre come out. So that doesn't come out till like next month, but overall I thought it was a pretty solid movie. Before we get into it today, definitely want to take a second just to send prayers over to the Under the Mat Radio crew and my boy Tech. Their tragedy in his family this week, and just want to take time to send prayers and, sit with best wishes as you get through it, man.
That's rough, man.
So yeah, Friday we made our debut, not in the ring, but outside the ring for the Nova Pro pre-show, which we had a good time. And it was for the Nova Pro American Slaying 17, which was one hell of a card. I did a review of the show over with Sean Neutron over at the Square Circle Sound Off. So definitely take a listen to that this week when we covered the whole card. But we'll talk about our highs about it really quick, especially since we got the founder of the Gated Community. So I know he's going to have some choice words about it. But overall, absolutely an amazing card. I mean, it's sort of say troubling, and it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to what's the word, release after you have such a good card and you just standing around like, oh, what do I do next? Like it was just so much energy in it. I mean, the Northern Virginia fans came out, and it was just energetic the whole entire time. And that I mean, not to just talk about the clinic that the wrestlers did in the ring, but one heck of a time. I pretty much got to be one of their better cards of all time. So. But just to get into the card a little bit, well, maybe I'll let you talk about this, Ed. You had your guy.
I mean, you want to go with the ladder match. Everyone keeps talking about the ladder match, but I mean, you had a great kickoff. I mean, the Gym Nasty Boys and the Ugly Ducklings, that was probably the best kickoff match I've ever seen. I mean, they had the energy, they had the hype, and they lived up to it. And I was really impressed with those guys, and I hope they come back. I know they're penciled in for a few dates, but I just thought everyone went around going, that's probably the match that people really walked in knowing not what to expect. But I thought when I left, I was like, man, those guys are actually pretty damn good. And then the Tim Donst and the Star match was, the whole referee thing kind of got me. I mean, I had a feeling going in, you weren't going to have titles that weren't affiliated with us change hands, but for them to keep going and keep playing it out. And I thought, hey, it was just interesting to see them both in the ring. And then the fireball, I mean, we don't want to get into the fireball too much, but I mean, that was probably the highlight of the night. I mean, that was the most retweeted photo I've seen in a long time in regards to Nova Pro. So Angelus and now Mike, I mean, you got next month's show has already sold out the front row because of it. I like to think Trevor Lee coming into it. So, and then we get to the ladder match, and like I said, I've never gone all the way through a show where I was very impressed with what everyone offered. Like I said, for Logan to win and for us to be there for it, and for the real supporters like Crab, and a lot of other ones around the ring that have become Logan supporters and throw the fingers up. This was kind of like that moment that you're going to remember, because it's like, hey, for me, it was a 6-month investment. And the minute the belt was on him, it's almost like he had tears of joy. And we were celebrating. I was giving out champagne to anybody. And it was just because, hey, that was our thing. This was something that this town loves a winner. And the funny thing was afterwards, the amount of bandwagon fans that had raided our Twitter account requesting permission to sit with us at the next show. We're putting a stop to that right now, because we know who was loyal from the get-go. Everyone knows that. If you're a Nova Pro regular, I know your face, I know your name. So I know when the velvet rope should part. But for these yeah-yeahs talking stuff, no. The train has already gone. The ship has sailed. You're going to be sitting in general admission as far away from me as humanly possible, and I am going to spend a lot of money to make sure that happens, because this is the 1% era. I told you I always cover my investments. He has done it, and we're going to hold that belt for a long damn time. Peace.
You have to follow that up.
I think the biggest thing about the show, and let me just start at the top because it can't be understated. Big thanks to Alexander James and Bobby Shields for guesting with us on the Nova Pro pre-show. It was our first time doing it, and we heard a lot of positive feedback from it. But especially special thanks to those guys. I'm looking at the match card right now, and it's really top to bottom. It's one of the better complete shows that I've seen anywhere personally in many years. And I'm not just saying that because of our affiliation with the gated community and Nova Pro. I mean, like, legit, if it sucked, I'll tell you. But every single match, and let's not overlook Faye Jackson and Soraya 7. Let's not overlook the Sandwich Squad, pulling it out versus Mance Warner and Reed Bentley. Dutton Matt Cross was nuts.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was insane. Kerman versus Gulak, and I've taken a few months off from Nova Pro for various reasons, and to see Kerman get a legit, he was very polarizing at first, where people just didn't know what to expect from him. People just taking one side or the other, where this is interesting or this is MMA, go down the street or whatever, and to see him get a legit pop, streamers in the air for him. That was really cool to see versus Rory Gulak and all of his accomplishments. And, the name, the lineage definitely has some kind of resonance with fans that know his brother. But certainly the Ugly Ducklings, Lance Lude and Rob Killjoy versus the Jim Nasty Boys, Timmy Lee Retton and White Mike. Hell of a kickoff to the show, and just great throughout. Great pacing. A pyrokinetic witch set a man on fire after discouraging his babies. It had everything. It absolutely had everything. And the only thing that we didn't forget is, and this is certainly not over, Cutie versus the Beast happened. We cannot understate that, and it ain't over, because there was a lot of things. It wasn't a definitive win by Isaiah, and it wasn't. He definitely gave Bo a taste of his own medicine with a low blow and the roll up to win, but Bo's already said that this isn't over, that he's coming back, for blood. Eric Royal won his match with the 1% gauntlet. Somehow, some way he pulled it out, and he'll be facing Logan in September. Unfortunately, we'll see how that goes when it comes back, because, the 1% is taking on and the triple 6-man tag next month versus the Carnies. So, it's just, honestly, Mike and Angela Slane, among other things. And when that fireball went off, I was in awe, because I was standing next to the dude that took that picture. And I couldn't grab my camera fast enough, because I didn't know or believe what the hell I just saw. It was insane. And then she's going to have to, because Mike, his Twitter went dark for a couple of days. And then it came back that she's going to have to face, not another woman, not some other woman. She's going to have to face Keith Lee. I mean, that's a Vince McMahon move right there. If you don't cross the boss, that's what happened to Titus. That's a move like that, where it's like, no, this is your punishment. I'm not going to be the one to do it. Keith Lee's versus Angela Slane is going to be insane. And I want to say that, well, we got to keep it PC. Yeah, we really don't want to. She threw fire at a man. So that's a game changer right there. So just setting up the next month. The worst part about going to a Nova Pro show is the moment that the show ends, because that is the longest possible time before the next one. And if you want your tickets now, get them now. You can't sit front row because they're already sold out. And you can't sit with the gated community because, well, obvious reasons. We won't get into that, but you know who you are. So you got to get your tickets now. You can sit in the GA section with the unwashed masses and make some friends. It's a party. It was a pizza party last week. Last week. So that was the thing too. So shout out to the Papa John's for making that work.
I forgot all about that.
So we saw a man set on fire. We saw a gauntlet match. We saw an 18-minute ladder match, and the first ever title change in Nova Pro. I want to say, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And it was a pizza party. Well, I mean, what else could they do? Just shut it down for the year and come back in February. There's no way to top that.
He's trying hard to top it. I tell you that. I mean, the pizza party in general, that was kind of a letdown for some people. That was a letdown for some people. And let me just say, that was the highlight of my night, is when they had no beverages and the gated community had beverages, and I was like, hey, it's time to plan ahead, people.
I know that you guys, they legit had a cooler.
I was offered
with champagne.
I was offered fountain water by one hand, and about to get what brand did you guys have?
We had Fiji water and we had Moss water. So I was like, I was trying to be nice. Yeah. I was trying to be nice because when he said it, I was like, there's some friends on the other side of the rope. And I was like, hey, and I was like, man, it's like God shined down upon us that night and said, hey, plan ahead, people. Plan ahead. So.
But no, it's absolutely insane how far the gated community has come, and it has been a part of the Nova Pro experience. And it's something that I have not seen on the indie scene really ever. And it's a lot. It's very interesting. However, the grass is always greener on the other side. So there is that. And I enjoy my sparkling Norwegian water while the plebs died of thirst. So yeah, it's good to be the king. But but
you're always welcome with us. You're always welcome with us. You always have been. You've always been a front supporter. And I'm gonna tell you, there will always be a seat for you in the VIP section.
Oh, thank you.
You know, always. You know, so much love.
Thank you. But again, and I say this without hyperbole, this may be the single greatest show in Nova Pro history. So many unforgettable moments where if they were to do a best of 2016, half the show would just be on this card. Because, I mean, I just looking over the pictures over the last week, just Logan drop kicking Chet Sterling off the ladder from midway up, or Sanjay versus Matt. Just so many unbelievable moments, and I can't wait for the Blu-ray. Mike at Nova Pro, we need Blu-rays. No one has DVDs anymore. This is 2017. We need Blu-rays. I'm just saying, Mike, stop. And actually, we need 4K. Let's just be real. But we ain't there yet. But get the 4K ready, because that's coming. But we need Blu-rays, Mike. Help us.
Lucky we don't get laser disc.
You said that, not me.
They don't care.
But yeah, no, it was an absolutely great show. And unfortunately, and it was a good crowd too, because it was, and the response for next month based on this month, the front row is already sold out. So, and they're going to be in Annandale at the fire station. So get your tickets now, because that may legit sell out. It's a smaller building than the JCC, and there's not much room for upgrading. So if you're serious about going, and you damn well better be serious about going next month, the opportunity to go and to see the gated community off in the distance, because you can't sit with them, may pass you by. And you don't want to be left out. But yeah, great show all the way around. And we're going to be doing the podcast next month from the Annandale Volunteer Fire Department on, is that August 18th, I believe? So what a great way to kick off SummerSlam weekend, which seriously is only NXT weekend, going to Nova Pro, and then heading up to New York with me on the bus at 2 a.m. To go see NXT TakeOver, the following night in Brooklyn.
Indeed. Oh man. So anywho, it's gonna go down, some things that's buzzing around in the wrestling world. Our agenda changed just a little bit just because of a day after our typically regular scheduled day to record. So bear with us. But let's get into about WWE and their network cancellation / budget cuts. I mean, obviously the biggest one and most notable budget cut happens to be, surprisingly for me, the Pyro. I saw Brock Lesnar come out on Raw, and I was just like, wait a minute, like, was that like a error, or something's happening? Then somebody else as well, but nonetheless, I hit to the rumor sheets, and apparently this is their way of cutting back money. And then it proceeded with other shows in the WWE network being canceled, such as Mae Young Talking Smack and whatever her other show is called. If you know the name. Yes, Unfiltered. Yeah. So, I guess the simple question here is just like, I mean, do you agree with this? Not from a financial point of view, but because of what does it take away for the fan, and like, do you think there's more to come, or is there rumored more to become? Like, what's the make of this right now?
Well, I think that I never watched Talking Smack because I don't have the network and I don't care. But the long and short of it is that people were hyped about Talking Smack for maybe 3 or 4 segments, and from what I remember, it's The Miz and Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, going off versus Cena, and there were a few moments, and they did a show every Tuesday. So to have like 3 or 4 viral moments in that 6 months or whatever, how long it was on, isn't justifiable. To producing live TV is expensive. So if they can pack up and get out of the building as ASAP, they're willing to do that, and that makes total sense. I don't know why they didn't just do it from the studio like they had before. But then again, you can't talk to the wrestlers in the building if you're in Connecticut, and doing it over Skype doesn't seem as immersive. So cutting the show, I get that. The rumors were is that Vince doesn't like the spontaneity of it, which is understandable but unfortunate because you have to justify the writers' jobs as well. If they're not writing the storylines, or if somebody gets to make up their own business, well, it can work well, but it also can fail. We saw Alexa Bliss carry a segment by herself, and it was a bad segment, Bayley's This Is Your Life, but she could have had an opportunity to improvise, call an audible, and just work off the crowd and do something different. She did not, and that's what you get. But then when we have the rap battle between the New Day and the Usos, which is something that people are still buzzing about, that's a bit of spontaneity. So I'm not going to blame Bliss, and we've already done that before, but the idea is that, I can understand why he wants a little bit tighter knit on things, especially since the rumors are that Vince doesn't attend as many shows as he used to, which he's like 1,000. So that's understandable too. But yeah, they need to cut costs. They need to cut costs because attendance is what it is. They're not exactly experiencing growth. And let's be honest, the subscriber count for the WWE network is not trending in the direction that they need it to be. The point of business isn't just to break even, it's to make profit. And they are not seeing a return on their investment when it comes to producing a 24-hour live streaming show, a network.
Pretty straightforward on that. I mean,
yeah.
their stock is like probably the worst investment you can make because it hovers at the $20 range. And I mean, I've seen that consecutively for like the last 3 years. Like, you don't have anyone investing in the product and your stockholders are holding it. But then when you're cutting things like Pyro and you have a network and you like to think internal content would generate enough ratings and make people subscribe, but they're giving away a month of the network just about every month. It's like subscribe here and get your first month for free. And then the only movie they got coming out is that Bruce Lee movie, correct?
No, they have.
Don't start this.
I'm looking at the revenue stream here, and as an investor, I'm like, you're making some cuts, and I'm like, you're making a lot of cuts. I mean, the pyro helps for the little kids, but Becky Lynch isn't even coming out to smoke. You can't run a fog machine.
Nope.
I mean,
they went back to Party City and took it back. So
yeah, I'm saying you're making real budget cuts here. So I wouldn't. It's not a stock I ever bought, even though I love the product, because there has to be money made. And the only thing that makes them money is when they go international. Their international tours generate them money. That's the only thing that has a profit. The European market is huge. The Asian market is huge. And that's why you've seen some of these pop up, because I don't think they've disclosed a lot in their reports. But, I mean,
they just had a quarterly call on Thursday. When it's Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And so they did announce that they're going to be teaming with a network in South Africa to bring them live content regularly. They've re-inked a deal with J Sports in Japan. They've signed a deal with Brazil. So they're definitely making Gender is the champion of SmackDown for obvious reasons. So they definitely have that going for them. But touring in the U.S. is their bread and butter. And since the public consciousness, the culture, isn't on wrestling anymore the way it used to be in the 90s for a number of different reasons. The biggest thing, and of course you can definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but the biggest thing has got to be the merch and the TV deal. But what does the network do for their TV deal how do they go back to the bargaining table in 2020 and talk to NBC and demand this when the network isn't pulling their own weight? NBC has the leverage in that regard where, your product is trending downward as far as the ratings are concerned. And no matter what Vince says that the ratings don't matter, NBC does care. So how can they go back to the bargaining table and demand that they pay less or that they have more coverage when their ratings they've lost 48% of their ratings from WrestleMania last year.
I'm not arguing with you. You're right on that, but competition has gotten a lot better too. So, I mean, you can't even throw that in there right now. Who's staying up late? I caught the early bird to watch New Japan. I mean,
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
You're paying attention.
Sure, competition is more prevalent, but the competition isn't direct. And the interest of New Japan or Access TV or a global force or whatever is a singular drop in the bucket. Lucha Underground isn't breaking the top 150 of the Nielsen's every week. Global Force somehow is, but they're at like 148, 146, and they took a hit this week. So even though SmackDown and Raw is doing bad, they are absolutely murdering their wrestling competition and are holding it strong against other traditional media in their time slots. Granted, they had a rough go of it because the 4th of July was on a Tuesday. It was a really hot NBA finals and hockey finals, and blah, blah, blah. There will always be something. But the long and short of it is that WWE, for what it's worth, they're not killing it. They're doing well. They are making money. They are not losing, but they're not killing it. And so that their investors are, and their stock prices is evident of that, as it's remained in that $19 to $21 range over the last 18 months.
You should come on my show and you can give stock tips. Throw them out there.
I'm not qualified enough to do that.
Don't you all want to retire early?
It was definitely a topic for me where I definitely wanted to hear how what you guys were going to think on it, because I'm very biased and not looking at it from the business point of view, but one, I feel bad for Renee Young because what is her purpose now? And I'm religiously going to stand behind Jamal's statement of she should have been in commentary for the Mae Young Classic, but she didn't get that opportunity. She won't get her show. So, she'll only be doing Talking Smack and Raw Talk after pay-per-views. And God knows, even after questionable pay-per-view bookings and just not good quality pay-per-views, period, plenty of people won't watch that. You know, after at least SmackDown, at least they were good, and SmackDown's only 2 hours, so you know, to watch another 20 minutes of show isn't that bad. But I mean, I think it's just going to take a big hit to her, to the point she's actually probably going to be fading out until, you know, Total Divas, which I think that's the only thing she has involved with right now. But she took to Twitter herself and she was disappointed. She's just like, oh, well, I guess Twitter is the only place I can express myself. So, you know.
But I think she also said that, like, I guess I'll have to go back to joining me in the ring at this time. So that sucks. But let me ask you this as an investor. Do you think that WWE has overextended itself? And I say that on the knowledge of Comic-Con, which is going on right now. WWE has introduced and partnered with Mattel to introduce a bunch of Barbie-esque dolls for their superstars. They also have 4 WWE-produced movies coming out this calendar year.
Can you tell me? Yeah, I just want to know who's starring in them, please.
You're not helping, okay? No one's going to see them, but they are producing these movies. And in theaters, by the way. I don't count the DVD stuff. So like 12 Rounds Part 9, Indianapolis, or the Marine 17, you know, Southwest Australia. Sure.
I love 16. 16 was a good one.
16 was just when you think it could
the best ever.
You couldn't get better than this Marine 16, a Wagadoogoo. 17 took it to another level. But in theaters this year, they had Slight come out, which did pretty well. $50,000 to make and $225,000 in the box office. That's a win. But you also have I don't have Blood Brothers with Trey Songz and R-Truth, because sure. And then you have the one with the Bruce Lee movie that they are producing, which the Lee family, including Shannon, his widow, said, we want nothing to do with this movie. It is not Bruce Lee, only by name. Don't mention us at all in the marketing. She did an interview with the Hong Kong South China Post, saying, we know nothing of this movie. It's not ours. So if you're going to see some real Bruce Lee stuff, we can't endorse this. Because basically they took Bruce Lee's story and made it into like Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. They made him that character. I'll see it because sure, but I'm not looking for this to be a biopic. And there's 2 other movies that I can't think of that I should have in front of me, but yeah. But do you think that they've overextended themselves, considering they have so many hands in different pots that may or may not bear fruit?
I'm just going to say, being there when the ladies rolled out and saw the Mattel doll line, it was well received. And I think you had a nice moment with Sasha and this young little girl that started breaking down in tears because you got to see it. So it's kind of like, it's nice to see the women get a push. That product, I mean, it doesn't do anything with the normal wrestling line, but it's something different. And I've seen Mattel's kind of desperate. Barbie sucks. It doesn't sell anymore, but there was a big pop at Comic-Con for it. And then, you know, on top of the normal figures, I mean, it wasn't bad. Like anytime they're getting publicity, it's good for them. But like Jamal, it's like they've probably extended themselves as far as what you can sell. I mean, all they got left to do is bring back the ice cream bars because it's hot as hell outside right now, and I would eat one of their ice cream bars. That's the only thing left for them to do. I mean, there's no growth in the revenue market for them. So as an investor, you're not showing me what you're going to do down the road. You've already done the network.
Right.
The network probably hasn't succeeded the way they thought it would. But, I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't give the network away for free. You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to, you know.
Well, that's the thing with entitlements. Once you release those, you can't retract them. So I couldn't imagine anybody paying $15 for the network for everything but pay-per-views. And if you wanted the everything package, which included pay-per-views, that's an additional. You can't do that now. It's already in HD. It's already every single thing ever except the live stuff, and not including the pay-per-view and WrestleMania. They literally give WrestleMania away for free if you're willing to subscribe to the network the month of, which people do that and then cancel it shortly thereafter because it's 7.5 hours and they can't take it. But
what are the 2 shows you watch on the network? Like mine would be NXT on Wednesday and Table for 3. That is the only 2 I will view that is their own in-house content.
The only shows that I watched regularly when I had the network was NXT and the off ECW content. And apparently Talking Smack was being beaten by like November to Remember 2001 in the ratings for the network. So the people say don't go and don't go. Well, are you watching it on the network or are you watching it on YouTube? Because their YouTube content goes up before the network does.
That's a very fair point.
Yeah, that's fair assessment.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really have to follow WWE anymore if I just subscribe to their YouTube channel. I can get all of the bits and pieces, or subscribe to Hulu or watch it on Universal HD, where I can just get the bits and pieces. I don't need to be there live. I don't need to watch it live, especially since it's 3 hours, and I think they do 42 minutes of commercials.
Yeah,
I don't need to watch if I can see in the 3-minute capsules on YouTube for free. Until they start editing stuff like the rap battle.
Let's move on to our next topic for the night. We were bringing up Kurt Angle's big reveal. I mean, they've been building this for a long time. I mean, I have to say the intrigue was there because they had Corey Graves involved. And, you know, Corey Graves, him sitting behind the commentary table, has been one of the better people back there. So to get him involved in the storyline is something traditionally we haven't seen in a while in WWE. So the intrigue was there, and they built it for a long time with little to almost no progression. But every Raw, Corey Graves and Kurt Angle have some sidebar conversation. But the reveal finally happened, and it happened to find out that no, it was not. What's her name from TNA? Because I know that's who everybody was hoping it was. Probably would have been a better
Dixie
story.
Carter.
Dixie Carter, yeah. But no, that Jason Jordan is actually Kurt Angle's son in some form of affair or something he had. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. The topic and the storyline itself is absolutely meh to me. I could really care less about. But I am bringing it up because of the fact that this does totally affect two things. The superstar shakeup, or the draft, which seems to be totally going away now. And American Alpha seems to be no longer a thing. So, you know, the magic that they capture in NXT. I mean, we didn't even get an American Alpha versus the Revival again. We didn't get that because that's a SummerSlam match right there.
I was going to say that's a Survivor Series match waiting to happen. American Alpha versus the Revival. I don't care if they're on the same show or not, but let me just paint a picture of how out of touch Vince McMahon is with today.
Take it away.
The biggest thing that he has, the biggest deal, the big taboo, the thing that Kurt Angle voluntarily, because nobody asked him to divulge this information, but the thing that voluntarily Kurt Angle decides that this is going to be earth-shaking and ruining his life, his career. Why would it jeopardize his career? Why would Kurt Angle, having an illegitimate son of any capacity, jeopardize his job performance? Okay, fine. Let's say that it does because reasons. This isn't 1955. Kurt Angle having a black son, no one cares. We live in an era today where people are trying to figure out what gender they are. That's a legit question that people have today about themselves. And you're telling me that this guy thinks that the big taboo is Kurt's son being illegitimately black? So that's the first thing. Second thing, why the black kid had to be an illegitimate son? That's another thing that we need to ask here. These are real questions that I have. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't it be Gable? That's the thing that that's the logical answer from a genetic, a wrestling, okay, fine. So it's Jason Jordan. Now, Kurt and Sharmell had a thing way back when. Is that an? Oh, it's not an angle. Okay, fine. That doesn't make any sense then. But Kurt's son being Jason Jordan makes absolutely no sense. But this is, again, from the mind of the guy that had Santino Marella win a women's division championship in WrestleMania. This is also the mind of the guy that had two of the greatest luchadors of all time drive a goddamn lawnmower to the ring. And that was their gimmick. This is also the guy that had one of the greatest women wrestlers, one that you named their tournament after, posthumously give birth to a hand and have that hand grow up 20 years later because of reasons. Vince McMahon has done a lot of great things as far as the shaping of wrestling in North America. His prowess is unmatched for a lot of different reasons. He is the biggest fish in the pond for a lot of reasons, but he is willfully ignorant of how the world culture works today. If he thinks in his heart of hearts that this will get the people moving, his son is black. Ooh. I don't know what he lives in Pleasantville, where it's still black and white, and he sees that red apple, and Tobey Maguire's like, "What? Oh, it's red." There's absolutely no way. There's no way in his right, feeble 80-year-old mind that he thinks that this is the thing, even if it was true. And for the record, Jason Jordan's mom is white, and his father's black. They actually went to NXT when they won the championship for the first time. Oh, so how did that work out? Yeah. So how did that work out exactly? I guess magic and wrestling reasons, and also
NXT doesn't exist. Let's not forget that.
That's true. It does not exist. It's all a figment of our imagination.
Even though Corey Graves was heavily involved in the storyline, which I'm not even sure why now. All of a sudden,
so that's another
thing.
Who was
texting Corey Graves? Is nobody going to address that?
Like, so who's texting Corey Graves? Number one, why does Corey Graves have his phone on at work, like at the commentary table, where he's like, I need to check this. I know this is live in 75 countries, but this text message is more important than my job right now, and nobody calls him out on that. Shame on Corey Graves. That is unprofessional.
Why not just go back to what you said earlier? Why not just have Corey Graves tap Booker T and like, hey, have you seen this? Like, this is crazy. And have
exactly. or more importantly, why his job would be on the line. Really, what HR said, Kurt, sit down. You have an illegitimate son. Now, that has nothing to do with your job and your performance as Raw General Manager, but we're going to dock you 30 days pay. Get out. No. And also equally important, right? And also equally important is, why does Jason Jordan have to be okay with this? I mean, Kurt didn't know he was his son, but who was Jason Jordan's father? Was he raised by wrestling wolves in Indiana? Was he born a single parent? What does his mom think about this? Whoever his mom be, Sherry Martel. I'm just going to put it out there. It's like, what does that mean? That, like, was he from an orphanage somewhere in the Midwest or Chicago or something like that? And like some kind of orphanage where they trained wrestlers? And he escaped, like X-23? Like, what are we talking about here? And that's like, and I guess that's just the end of it. Like, the big reveal is that he has an illegitimate son and he's black in 2017. And people are trying to figure out if they're a trans damn penguin or not. I don't understand it.
And let's not forget that they're saying like this is a storyline that's going to be carried out for a long time. They're saying, to the point that it's going to be so consuming to Kurt Angle, he's not even going to have any in-ring competition now, and this is going to be the focus of this storyline. So
why would it break up American Alpha? Like, if you had a non-work related issue, and your tag team partner, who's supposed to be the closest guy to you at work, the guy that you spend all the time on the road with and all this stuff, why would that be the thing that you keep from him? And you go, yeah, man, I'm breaking up the team, all the success we had. Why? Because my father's Kurt Angle. Oh, yeah, I understand. You got to go. What?
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, dude. It's absolutely, I don't know, man. This might be second worst thing that's happened in WWE this year after the Alexa Bliss My Life thing.
Nope. Emelina's number one.
Yeah, well, that was a swerve because it almost happened. Oh, well, it did happen, but it
also very much did happen.
Yeah, she corrected it pretty fast.
I think that, like, just off the top of my head, the worst things in WWE this year, number one, has to be Emelina. They teased it for 8 months, something like that. And then she came out and said hello, goodbye, and then went back.
I have no clue what the definition of coming soon is no more. Like at all. Debuting soon, coming soon, next week. All of those are completely irrelevant. They amounted to absolute lies.
Coming soon, the sun will explode, and it will take 8 seconds to wipe us all out. That'll happen in 10 trillion years, but it is coming soon. Like, what reference of time do they have? Doesn't make any sense. Like, coming soon. Thursday. Yep, it technically is. But we didn't mention which one. That's 40 weeks from now.
Oh, WWE is definitely, it's like CPT times a zillion right now.
Well, that's just racist. I mean, and I can't support that.
Oh man, let's keep the focus on you right now. I'm about to just let you just take over the show. Give us some Alberto Del Rio updates because apparently he is still in the news. This time I guess it's something a little better.
Well, I mean, that wasn't the first thing I was going to talk about, but that's fine. Let me find it. Okay, here it is. So Alberto Del Rio, we all know about the situation in Orlando. We know about the situation with Paige, and at least the conflicting stories have come out. But officially, the Orlando police has dropped any charges or any. Alberto Del Rio basically is not a suspect in the domestic violence case. Paige is. Now, here's the thing. Actually indicted with domestic violence, she is immediately suspended until the case is figured out. If she is charged with domestic violence, that will be a breach of her contract, and she will be immediately thrown out of her ass at WWE headquarters. So I guess the question is, Del Rio, who is still your Global Force Impact Hardy's Whataburger champion.
Ow! Don't forget the ow. Hootie.
Shout out to Hootie. Shout out to Hootie in Orlando. But love that owl. But with Paige not being by his side is obviously problematic. We've seen her dressed up in his father's mask and for Impact tapings. But if she is indicted with domestic violence, which is zero tolerance for WWE, do they actually fire her if she's convicted of it? And what does this mean for their movie, the biopic that's supposed to come out next summer, I believe? Because that's honestly the only reason why she has a job right now.
That's a good point. That is a really good point. Yeah. And I think that's exactly why they've been so.
They don't want to give that press to Global Force. Because she has a movie to promote. The movie's in post-production right now. They will need to promote it over the next couple of months. Now, if they promote it in WWE shows, because they're not producing it, The Rock and his film company are producing it, and it will be distributed by somebody else. So how would it look if a former WWE star took her name and notoriety to Global Force, became an active member there because she was unceremoniously booted out of WWE, and then had a fresh new movie to promote that's sponsored by The Rock? It would be a bad move on WWE's part. Whether or not they actually do it is one thing, but do they actually let her go? I don't think they can until the movie comes out.
I legitimately do not have an answer here. I have to think about that. It's a really good point, but I legitimately do not have an answer here. I just think that this is why WWE is treading water likely with this. And she may be one of those extreme cases where they make an exemption for her. Yeah, they have a zero policy, but with how things are going right now, anything that can create any type of revenue for them, I'm sure they're going to think twice and maybe go a little bit different about this. I mean, obviously Roman Reigns with his wellness policy suspension a while ago, and he was the biggest star in the company at the time, and he was also in contention for the title or a pay-per-view that was something that's coming up. They handled it very different than what they did for other people. I mean, completely blasted Paige, completely blasted Eva Marie, kept him on the low. I mean, even announced his suspension not by the name of Roman Reigns, but by his real government name. However, Eva Marie got her character name, her government, everything blasted. everywhere. So,
but the difference between Roman Reigns and Eva Marie is Eva Marie and her husband took Twitter almost immediately and said, we were unjustly vilified. But Roman Reigns went, see y'all in a month.
Yeah, because he knew what it was. They probably pulled him aside and said, look, something happened, came back negative. We're going to take care of this. We can't give you a pass, but we will make sure you make it to the pay-per-view. I mean,
and the thing is with Roman Reigns, they knew before he did TV, before the pay-per-view, still let him work the pay-per-view, and then he finished his suspension and then came back before the next pay-per-view.
Yep.
So
I don't know. I just think, just from the points you made, that maybe Paige is handled a little bit different here. Or, maybe they give her a restructured contract where she is allowed to work indies and other promotions, but cannot appear on TVs. I mean, again, opportunity for them to be able to create some revenue. I think they're going to keep it at best interest. And I think also too, like I said on the last show, I think E also has their intrigue on the whole Alberto Del Rio and her storyline, because it's drama and people love drama no matter what it is. And considering now that it's her that could be charged for the domestic violence, I don't think America's going to take as much hate into it as they would if it was Alberto Del Rio.
True.
So there's money to be made. I mean, we live in an era where people love drama, fighting, and all types of violent and negative impacts into society because it sells for TV. Not a fan of it, but people do. And, this is why E hasn't pulled out. And this is probably why WWE is very silently monitoring this ordeal.
Right. Well, I think also WWE and their contracts are usually pretty much standard. You have a 90-day non-compete clause. You can't appear anywhere outside of that. I think they fire her because the movie doesn't have a release date as far as I know. So as soon as she is able to, they get that release date, I think they fire her within the 90 days so that she doesn't go and wrestle. So that way she can't show up at Impact and do things physically in the same way that Jack Swagger couldn't do anything. He had to cancel his indie date in England, even though it was non-televised, because he couldn't work it because of the 90 days. So I think they're just playing the waiting game, because unless she does something that's absolutely egregious, it would be to their benefit to just wait it out, make whatever they can off the movie, because the movie still has to be somewhat good. It does have Vince Vaughn, Nick Frost, and Lena Headey in it, and Stephen Merchant's directed, who I generally like. But the movie itself is an investment as well. Film 4 from in the UK and The Rock's $7 Productions and WWE are investing in it. And MGM is going to distribute it. So there's some money involved in it. And it would be to their best interest that she either A, lay low, or B, if they do fire her, it is into the promotion schedule so that she can't work and do other promotions outside of the movie while she's technically receiving her severance from WWE.
What type of initial contracts are signed before this happens?
Your standard wrestling contract is, to my understanding.
Movie-wise.
Well, that depends on the individual movie production studio and distribution studio. It depends on their agent, basically. If the agent can work a deal where they get, rights on box office receipts and merch or whatever, or they may just get a flat rate up front, and that goes into the production cost. If Jennifer Lawrence said, I need $15 million to make this happen, they want to give her a check for $15 million and she's going to go to work. They need to make them $15 million back. So please see that movie opening weekend. So a lot of money is invested up front. They spend it however they need to spend it. And then the movie comes out. And if it doesn't make its money back plus 20%, it's a fail.
Okay.
But that's any business, though. And that's why WWE, for example, it's not just breaking even, it's breaking even plus.
Yeah.
So when you see a movie like Slight make 5 times, its investment, that's a win. So that was actually, I think that's their biggest percentage of a movie, because like The Call or See No Evil may be one of the highest grossing movies, but I think Slight was their biggest win.
Okay.
As far as that goes. But considering that this doesn't have a date, it'd be hard to say how this factors into her wrestling career in WWE.
I guess I got another ignorant question towards this. Does Alberto Del Rio play any part in this?
In the movie?
Not in the movie, but any part of I guess negative. I mean, any publicity is good publicity, but does he play a negative aspect into the outcome of this movie as far as income or?
Well, I guess Ed would be the guy to ask about that, about cross promotion and cross pollination of subgenres. Wrestling fans are wrestling fans, but there are people that may be attracted to Vince Vaughn and The Rock and Lena Headey and Nick Frost, or just fans of the UK in general of independent films that may not know her story and go, this is interesting. And then once they, do any type of homework and realize that she's married to a wrestler with a less than stellar track record, Alberto Del Rio, whether you like his character or his personality or not, he's done things that may be considered in poor taste, tactless, and immoral, but not illegal. He didn't put a gun to her head at the airport. He didn't throw her mom down a flight of stairs. He didn't throw a toaster in her bathwater. He may be a jerk. Well, ADR is a dick, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. But that's not illegal, though. So if he will have no part into promotion of this movie, because this doesn't involve him. He came very late into a story that's not covered by the movie. To wrestling fans, it'd be, I know that I'm wearing my Brad Maddox, Xavier Woods, greatest tag team of all time shirt to the screening. But no one that's not a wrestling fan would know what that means or cares.
Good point. And
I can't believe you went there, man.
Two-time champs.
And I guess you could say from the success of Glow, it's just a small sample dose of what non-wrestling fans would give viewership to something they're not right. They may not be totally a day-to-day fan of. So
yeah, I don't see people kicking down Joey Ryan's door that were like, hey, I'm a Netflix subscriber that have never watched a single thing wrestling, but you were awesome. Maybe people are doing that, but in general, I don't see house show attendance is going up because of Glow or because of Total Divas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But cross-pollination is a thing that can and should happen if you want to grow your business in different ventures. And we just talked about the potential to oversaturate the market with your product, which is a bad thing. But with this movie and Paige's future is concerned, as wrestling fans, we're concerned about two things. And it's more about with her as a person and a character than this movie. Whereas other fans of cinema are like, this seems like an interesting story. Let's see what it's about.
Yeah. Good point. Well said. Definitely appreciate your views and knowledge of that. That is definitely a lot I didn't consider in this situation. So as much as I like, we're talking about Alberto Del Rio again, I was like, oh, here we go. But that was actually one of the better moments for him on this show from you.
Let's you want to one more topic, or you want to roll into the news?
No, all you.
All right, so let's go into the news real quick. Emma,
you are going to bring. We made sure you are going to bring up rumors of the Indy Stars moving over. Maybe okay, you got it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Your time is up. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now. So Emma on July 17th sent out a tweet from Raw in Nashville last Monday. And it says, and I'm going to do my best Australian accent, sitting backstage at Raw in my 5 years with WWE, happy anniversary to me. Here in WWE Nashville, watching Alexa versus Bayley, then Sasha and Nia. Love watching others get more opportunities than I never get. Cool. So she's obviously, giving very passive-aggressive compliments to the other ladies, but they wasted so much time with Emma. When do you think that she, Summer Rae, Dana Brooke, be inserted back into the women's picture on Raw?
When there's no unnecessary stables floating around on any brand, we're a legitimate stable of people who do not have anything going on, who has pure character and realistic hatred to their spot and placement on the roster can naturally take that and insert it on TV. So let's get this whole Lana and Tamina thing out the window, and the welcoming committee. Let's get that out the window. And, you know, besides Carmella and Ellsworth, you know, insert these other people who have no purpose into something and let it.
Yeah, they're all on SmackDown though. Emma's on Raw.
Whatever. Why are you trying to make me be diplomatically correct when somebody can say, "Oh, that guy's my son," so now he's on our show now? The shakeup in the draft.
None of those things made sense.
No, hold on. We talk about this a lot. How about she automatically appears on NXT and challenges, you know, for the belt? I mean, that's a great concept.
I feel that I've been saying this for the past year since NXT took a decline.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm bringing it up, because I mean, it's a great idea. It's a great concept.
You know? I would love to see, especially since Asuka is the Goldberg of wrestling right now, and that's official. WWE has acknowledged that she is Goldberg.
Yeah.
With the winningest championship streak ever, whatever. The long and short of it is, I would love to see Emma. Asuka literally said, "Y'all don't have anybody for me. I'm not working until you find me competition," and she's on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
But what if Emma showed up at NXT and said, or just showed up at TakeOver and said, "I'll take your belt from you right now," like Paige did when she first showed up versus AJ Lee. So I think it absolutely could happen. Instead of just putting them on the shelf, just let them go to work. Alicia Fox being used in that stupid thing that she had on 205 Live. Summer Rae, not the best, at what she did, but still an underutilized talent for no reason. Let the ladies work.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Darren Young. We haven't heard his name in a while. He was injured. He had that elbow injury back in January. He had the surgery, and PW Insider believes that he should receive his medical clearance next month. The only thing is that he really didn't have anything going for him before he left, and that was 7 months ago, going on 8. So hopefully they'll have something for him when he comes back. But that's just one of those things where, you know what, you got Bobby Roode down there. I'm not saying that Darren Young is the name that's going to get the NXT crowd hyped, but it would be interesting to see him just show up and just get some work down. If they could do it for Eva Marie, saying that she came back to NXT to retrain and blah, 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 then why not? Baseball players do it all the time, where you'll have a guy go down to AAA on rehab and work for a couple games and then come back up when he's ready. So and I've been saying it forever. It should happen.
And let's make this very clear. Nobody looks at send downs as a stigma into the skills. Some people need to screw their head on back tight. I mean, you're still getting paid the same money, but get inserted, get relevant, get back in stride, and do what you got to do. It helped for Yasiel Puig last year, and I mean it did, because he was going towards out the league. He definitely was. Right. But the thing is, they say Emery couldn't wrestle. She didn't have it. She had the looks, blah blah blah. So send her down so she can get better at it. Whatever. But no, do it not because of what people can do, because you should have already evaluated somebody that they belong in this company or they don't. Put it back to get them relevant. It's obviously about to work for Drew McIntyre, even though he made the loop-de-loop way about doing it, but it works. And I mean, look, come on, the people in talent.
Well, it can work, because we saw Alex Riley come back, and it's not exactly was the biggest thing in NXT either. So
he didn't have his head screwed on too, right? I mean, he every other chance he got, he wanted to throw somebody under the bus in WWE. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's NXT isn't a guarantee, and it's not a cure-all, because you still have to be the person people want to see. Yeah. But it's better than just doing nothing.
And it's to AJ Styles' point, where it's like, hey, I know I can do this stuff in the ring, but it got me accustomed to the WWE ways. And some people may think they're above the brand, because obviously no one is above the brand. So I think it's just a tour, so to get people off their power trip, and get back into the gist and become relevant to the fans. It's a win-win all the way around, as long as you are willing to want to reinvent yourself or just to better yourself, period. So Darren Young,
they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because they don't recognize NXT as a thing.
They don't, and that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Corey Graves, mentions it, but it's not followed by promotional packages or anything. Right. Somebody can be on the main roster for 1 week and they'll show his one match from that 1 week the entire time, instead of just taking back quality time and matches they had at NXT. So they have the rights to all of it, but I don't know.
No, let's move on. Mark Henry, he has announced his retirement. He's going to be on Table for 3. Either he did it last week or he will be on there this week. I'm not sure after Raw, but he had 21 years in the business, numerous strongman lifting competition championships. He's been doing it, lifting weights since high school, and he's been setting records all around the world. He's won the ECW championship, the WWF World European Championship, and the World Heavyweight Championship all one time. He also sired a hand with Mae Young because that needed to happen. So that happened. But much respect to Mark Henry and his illustrious career. He's super underrated, and he said that he will transition to a backstage role in talent recruitment. So if you like Apollo Crews, Rich Swann, and there's one more that I can't think of. Mark Henry was instrumental in bringing those guys in. So
let's not forget one of the best WWE Championship sagas was the House of Pain. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And let's, to your point, that
blown up the ring a couple times versus the Big Show. That was pretty awesome too.
Why isn't Mark Henry getting any love at the Mae Young Classic? I mean, he deserves some type of shout out. I mean,
because a lot of the participants in the Mae Young Classic weren't born when that was a thing.
Oh,
he delivered the hand. He was right there. I would never forget.
Because we're old. No one knows that's in the Mae Young Classic what that means. All right, so let's move on very quickly. Evolve is coming up, and that is the week before TakeOver weekend. I refuse to call it SummerSlam weekend. And they're going to have a match where it's Progress versus Evolve. Progress will have their own show at 8 o'clock, and Evolve is going on at 4. So a great doubleheader if you are in the New York area. Also in Evolve news, Leo Rush will have his last show before joining NXT in August, and that will be August 11th for Evolve. He's doing his last show ever on the indie scene, at least for right now, at Maryland Championship Wrestling, where he got to start. I think he's from Baltimore, up in Joppa, Maryland, which is somewhere between Delaware and Baltimore suburbs. So if you're in that way, it's an hour south of Philadelphia. It's an hour northeast of Baltimore. The Shane Shamrock Memorial Cup, one of the biggest indie promotional tournaments in this part of the Mid-Atlantic. You owe it to yourself to see him off and to see Leo Rush before WWE waters him down.
He also, by the way, he's from Lanham, Maryland, which I just Googled. I didn't even know.
Oh, he is? Okay.
It's a PG County.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. So good for him. A really good guy, and wish him all the best in NXT. Also joining him at NXT is friend of the show and former guest, Donovan Dijak. It's no secret that he has been in talks with WWE. WWE's definitely put the feelers out there since WrestleMania. Coincidentally, was in Orlando. You never want to know what the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, but when he didn't re-sign with Ring of Honor in February, it was kind of like, well, what are you going to do? I asked him, well, what are you going to do? And he finally said that he's going to join WWE sometime this year. I would love to see Dijak show up at TakeOver. I don't think it's going to be in any capacity, in an in-ring capacity, as he's not supposed to finish up on the indie scene until September. But so NXT is definitely getting interesting again with Leo Rush, Dijak, and some other rumored names, Adam Cole, to be coming to NXT this fall. So
and
hopefully
sort of confirmed names, because they have sort of debuted. But I mean, from the James Storms of the past, I really don't know what that means. But Red Dragon has appeared, not together as a tag team, but they have appeared. So
Fish and O'Reilly are there, and we don't know what the remnants of the Mae Young Classic will present to NXT, as some of the performers are already in NXT and some of them are not. So, and
they've been rumored to want to sign a fair amount of talent in the Mae Young Classic. So
right. So NXT definitely on paper looks to be shaping up and restocking for another draft. Where they'll be galvanized again next summer. It's a damn shame how that happens. So the last thing on the news that I have is Tetsuya Naito. Interviewed, part of the G1 tournament, the 7-year-long G1 tournament, the Money in the Bank tournament. Essentially, if you're unfamiliar with the G1, the winner of that tournament gets a shot at the title at the January 4th Tokyo Dome show, which is now called Wrestle Kingdom. But Naito says about Kota Ibushi, one of my favorite wrestlers. He was asking his thoughts on facing Ibushi in the G1, and he said, and I quote, like, is he really qualified to be in the G1? Like, I mean, the fans are excited, and he's a fantastic athlete. Everyone knows that, but this is my Japanese accent for you people. But what has he done in the last year? Is the G1 tournament, like, for part-timers who have a few matches a year? When his name came up, my head was full of question marks. Like, how many matches did he have in WWE? Like, altogether, maybe like 10? Less than that? So do those 10 matches equal to the quality of 140 matches in New Japan? I don't think so. So definitely Naito, you know, with the lack of respect to Kota Ibushi, but you know,
is he not the biggest heel in the world?
No, Eva Marie is.
Fair enough.
So let's get out of here first. But before we do that, do we care?
Wait, not yet. Because there's something happening Sunday that, no matter how you want to look at this or not, WWE Battleground is this Sunday. I mean, and let's just run down this card real quick. It is. First of all, Battleground last year was in DC. It was one heck of a card. I mean, we got the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match. It was.
Oh, it was.
We forget.
I did forget. You know, I skipped the show because I went to Canada to see Smash Wrestling.
That's right. Yep. I was one heck of a show. Had particular maybe 2 matches of the year candidates, because you had the Cena, Styles, and Owens and Sami Zayn. But I'm just gonna go down this card real quick. I mean, look, pick your winners, pick anything you want to add to this, but or just any other side comments about it. We got the pre-match with Ty Dillinger and Aiden English. Obviously, nobody cares about Aiden English, so I think Ty Dillinger is winning there.
Ty. Yeah, I'll go with Ty.
Yeah, Ty.
Sami Zayn is continuing his feud with Mike Kanellis along with Maria Kanellis, because I love the Kanellis relationship theme song. But Sami Zayn, I still have no clue what he's doing here. Mike Kanellis here for the win.
They don't Mike. Yeah, they don't like Sami Zayn. But Maria Kanellis looks like Dixie Carter with red hair. So I gotta go with Sami on this one.
That's 2 Dixie Carter references today on the show.
Yeah, well, she's not dead. I mean, we can't talk about her.
She's still around.
Dixie Carter was the owner of Hootie and the Blowfish. Moving on.
Oh,
Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. AJ Styles, the champion, winning it at the Madison Square Garden house show. Will be defending his U.S. Championship here. I don't know. AJ wins and should be maybe the match of the night here.
I gotta be honest with you. AJ Styles bores me to tears.
Ooh.
And you know, Kevin Owens or AJ Styles, honestly, you can flip a coin. And the question is how many bagel bites will I have during the duration of this match? I think the over-under is 15 because
that's 2 boxes of 8 and you're wasting one. So what's happening to that last one you're going to leave there?
Or you go to Costco and you do a big. Don't underestimate the bagel bites.
No, I got the big ones too, but at the same time, they still come in slates of 8 inside the big ones. So you have to legitimately get 2 packs.
No. You make 1 box. It's 48 bagel bites.
Mine's come. If you're talking about Costco's, mine's come in the big 40 thing, and it has like trays of them separated in 8 each.
Yeah.
Right. They do. You just make the entire box.
All right, but okay.
It's like saving.
Are you kidding me?
It's like Saving Private Ryan. You can't leave no box. It's like Black Hawk Down. No bagel bite should be left behind.
Mr. Dad.
But AJ Styles versus Owens, I don't care. I mean, I guess Kevin Owens. Well, I guess AJ because they'll let him keep the belt for a little while.
Yeah.
And Owens may be hurt.
I'm going AJ. AJ. It's AJ easily.
We have a Nakamura versus Baron Corbin match. Baron Corbin is the Money in the Bank holder. Doesn't seem to be making any moves towards that yet. So as long as he has that, I mean, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses. But Nakamura, because they have to continuously build him up. So
the fact that they have to build Nakamura, considering his great run in NXT, saddens me. And honestly, I haven't heard anything about Nakamura in like the remnants of news that I hear about SmackDown. I forgot that he was even on the show. And Baron Corbin is a potato with bald hair. So I don't it's another match that I just don't care about. Flip another coin. It's not for any stipulation or anything like that. So this is a waste of time for me. I'm going to go with Baron Corbin because they seem to be wanting to build him up. But if you do that, what does that do for Nakamura's character? So I'm going to go with Corbin only because he has something to fight for, like the briefcase.
In any other aspect, I would totally agree and book it the same way. But I feel like because of Nakamura, they want to definitely make sure that Nakamura and AJ Styles rendezvous at SummerSlam. So, we'll see what happens there. A fatal 5-way elimination match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Tamina, and Lana. So Naomi's not here because she's the champion, nor is she even on this card at all. Which, I mean, Jesus Christ, she finally gets the belt, and now she's not getting matches. Like, it has to be hard for her. I'm telling you. But who wins here?
I'm hoping and praying that Lana wins. Now, I know it's unexpected, so it probably won't happen. Charlotte is a 27-time women's champion on Raw. Becky Lynch, has pretty much fallen out of favor. Natalya is about as charismatic as a wet wipe. And Tamina is the female Baron Corbin. So Lana's the only wild card here. If they give Charlotte the belt, Charlotte doesn't need the belt to be better. She's at that level already.
Agreed.
Becky's already been a champion. Natalya has a lineage. And, Tamina Snuka, well, sorry. Bad luck of the draw if they don't like her for some reason. And I think she's great. I think Tamina's great. But they just don't have faith in her to give her a legit push or title run.
Yeah. So
the only wild card is Lana. And considering that she lost 7 times in a row in a best-of-7 series to Naomi, she got swept and still had 3 more matches and lost those 2. That if they do win, and that's the only thing that seems to be consistent, is Lana versus Naomi and Lana losing. I think Lana pulls this one out.
I agree. That worked for me.
Yeah, that's smart. You sold me on it. I mean, it makes sense, and it's like, why would you waste your time with anyone else? You have to give Lana the chance, and it's like, I don't think, looking from yesterday, when everyone was around the conference table, Lana was missing, and I'm like, these other girls are already over. Right. So why not put someone else in a position that you can spoon feed? So I'm with you. Crab is smart on this one. So
she's the only one that needs the belt.
Yeah.
Next match. The next match we have the free agent John Cena versus Rusev in a flag match. I mean, there's no way John Cena loses here.
No way.
And he has the American flag backing. I mean, Rusev is legit one of the best heels in the business, well deserved to be in any type of high caliber match. Arguably should have been the Money in the Bank winner and in the match. But we're talking about the super juggernaut, Super Saiyan 5, Ultimate, Broly, Kyle Ken, a zillion, John Cena versus.
If you don't watch Dragon Ball, you have no idea what he's talking about right now. Just want to put it up there.
I'm Asian. I invented Dragon Ball.
Okay.
There's no way Cena loses here, especially with the American flag being in the corner and the righteous and everything he said on SmackDown. He wins and he disappears and goes to Raw. Now, legitimately, the right booking would be is that he loses, disgraces America, and goes to Raw.
That's not going to happen.
No,
that doesn't happen. For John Cena, it doesn't happen. It's like the guy, he shits gold. So no matter what he does, it doesn't matter. It's like he's got a toy that is an exclusive at Toys R Us next month that benefits Make-A-Wish. There's no way he's losing this. Okay, there's no way he's losing this. So
I'm
next match, please.
I'm telling you, somebody probably bumped him in the hallway. It's like, you know, it'd be probably pretty cool if you like lost this. And, you know, you could go to Raw. Like, it'd be so great. He's like, no.
Delete.
Realistically, Cena should lose this match. Rusev has been back after missing a lot of time. He tried to get a Twitter beef started and then actually trolled Shane McMahon after he got pulled out of the Long Island Sound, tweeting at him, hey, this is what happened when you don't get back to me on your messages. Apparently, Rusev, no joke, may have savaged Shane McMahon's helicopter, which sent him into off the coast of Long Island. That is some savage heel work right there. It doesn't matter because he's or Bulgarian store. Yeah, they exist.
It's the same. It's Eastern Bloc.
All right then. But still, Cena, he's Cena. So
John Cena.
None of that matters. None of that matters because he's John Cena. So whatever.
Yeah,
I know we're missing a match.
If John Cena doesn't win this match and the Tournament of Power tomorrow, I'm just gonna be pretty much like I'm gonna be pretty much confused. Also, Tournament of Power is also another reference to Dragon Ball.
Yeah, more Dragon Ball references that you may not get. So it's
better than these Mr. Kennedy segments y'all be having.
Oh, okay. See, he's not even here to defend himself. That's not fair.
And the next match, which is going to be held at BET The Basement, we have the Usos versus the New Day in the Rap Battle Part 2, which is really not the segment and the stipulation here, but it should be. But this is for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I think the Usos win. I mean, what? The New Day, they don't need the belt anymore. They're over. They sell merch. They get their own tag team belt. They're not here but to just sell more merch, and that's it. Keep it on the heels. Establish another face tag team to challenge them, and just keep it there.
Honestly, what I would have liked to have happened is have American Alpha interfere in that match and kind of insert themselves into the picture and make it a triple threat tag at SummerSlam. Well, oops.
Smart.
Oops. That can't happen. Smart. So I think if that's what we're going to go with, the Usos and the New Day. Unfortunately, the rap battle wasn't last Tuesday. I don't know what they did, but there's nothing they could have done to top the hype for the going into the pay-per-view. With that said, I think the Usos keep the belts because the New Day have been champions for 500 days or something like that, pretty damn close, and they don't really need it to be over. It's nothing more that they can really do. Unless the New Day threatens to break up and then somehow find a way to pull it back together after a lengthy, and I mean like a year-long losing streak, where they get beat by Heath Slater and Rhino for like 6 months straight, who are on Raw right now. But still, the point remains, they need to absolutely hit rock bottom before they start that climb again, because if the New Day wins the championship, does that elevate them at all? I don't think so. So keep it on the Usos, let them run their mouths for a little while. They could stand the rub from the championship more than the New Day would.
And it's been a very long time since the New Day has put on a top caliber match that anybody was very, very impressed with. I mean, arguably half their wins have been kind of heelish with some type of interference or some sort. So, Jamal's totally right. There's nothing here for them to win. They're going to keep selling merch. Their gimmick is them being themselves, and it works day in and day out.
I smell heel turn coming. I think they do something bad, like you say, and they cheat their way in. You set up a rematch for SummerSlam. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think SummerSlam is like the big stage for it, and given the hype and success of the rap battle, I think they could drag this out for another month. We only have less than 30 days to go until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So they can play this out for 3 or 4 more shows on SmackDown, and then they can probably insert something else. Maybe give Fandango and Tyler Breeze into the picture, or somebody else. Whatever tag team they have later.
Do that.
Here's the question.
Right.
What other tag teams? I mean, because the Hype Bros are pretty much about to be done. And American Alpha found out that
they're done.
The paternity test has said that you are the father.
They really should have had Maury host that show.
Oh my God. I couldn't even deal with that.
Maury tapes in Stanford. That's such a missed opportunity there.
You are so right. I can guarantee you. Well, they said that Jason Jordan didn't know about this storyline till the week of. So I'm pretty sure creative didn't know what they were going to do. So
creative usually doesn't know.
Yeah, technically.
But okay. So here's the deal. The main event is I believe it's Orton versus Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Again.
Punjabi prison match.
See. Now, they've done the Punjabi prison match, I want to say twice.
Yes.
Definitely once.
Twice.
And we all do that, but I want to say they've done it twice. And it hasn't been that good. I think with two better wrestlers, arguably more athletic, just better ring presence versus the Great Khali. I think you could train a squirrel to wrestle better than the Great Khali. I've seen them. They're feisty.
The Great Khali is like when you create a person on WWE 2K and your system
and don't do anything else.
Yeah, you just leave shit. Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah,
he's horrible.
His name is Default, and that's it. Yep.
His specials are power slam or slap, and
like his finisher is an arm drag, and then that's it. But
you put the height and the weight on max, and you just let him beat him to death.
Right. So. Do you think that so with SummerSlam coming up and Jinder really having a successful run as far as the international presence is concerned, do you think what damage do you think could be done overseas if Jinder loses, arguably clean, to Randy Orton?
Bad for business. Ed said it earlier about overseas touring.
Yeah.
And while the Indian market is still being dabbled in, keep it on the guy. Doesn't hurt. He's the heel. Traditionally, people should be chasing the heel. He's a great heel. And taking into SummerSlam beyond. I like the booking for Jinder since he's been back. And Randy Orton does not need the belt. Quite frankly, if Randy Orton wins the belt again, does that not tie him with Cena?
No. I think he's only a 13-time champion.
Yeah, he'd be 14, and Cena would have Cena's tied Flair, right?
Cena has 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nonetheless, though,
but he's up there though.
Yeah, and at some point, Cena should be rendezvousing with Jinder Mahal. So
no.
Yeah, because I mean that's the name that Cena beats, and it doesn't totally tarnish the person, because if Cena beat Orton, it may look pretty bad in the book, but Jinder Mahal is going to be like nations versus that. It's going to be matter of fact, it's going to be booked just like it is with Rusev right now. But nonetheless, to your original question, it will hurt. And again, they need to play it safe with anything that's creating revenue. and it's keeping how it is. I mean, the booking has been great, fun. People are getting behind it, and Jamal, you've said it over and over time. People are starting to realize that the Jinder Mahal booking is what the American story is about, and people are legitimately getting behind.
Yeah.
They cannot edit this off TV. People are cheering for this guy, point blank.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can spoon feed him to Royal Rumble. You can spoon feed him to Royal Rumble. I'm telling you right now. It is so easy to look at the crowd and see that. So,
unless the whole family's wearing Cena bands, I mean.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like Jinder's story because of the fact that the only reason why he's considered a heel is because of the fact that he's not cheering for America. In America, he's not saying, I don't like your politics or anything like that. He's just saying, I like these guys more. Yeah. So he's not putting over Canada or India. He's just saying, I'm proud to be an Indian American. And you know what? I'm doing it for them. People are going, well, let's hang him. And that's not fair. That's unfortunate. And I'm glad that people are coming around to that. That's really awesome to see.
Yeah.
With that said, I do think that they should hold on to this until Royal Rumble, because how hype would it be? And we're going to be there in Philly for the Royal Rumble. I know that I'm going to be there in Philly for the Royal Rumble.
I will. Absolutely.
Birthday weekend. I'm going with you.
Do it. It's the drive. Do the drive. Yep. Do the drive. And do the drive.
I'll drive all of you. It's all. Get inside the crowd.
No. We have rules. We have hashtag do the drive and hashtag I'll meet you there. That's how we do this.
Yeah, I'll meet you guys there.
Oh, that's mean, man. Hashtag I'll fly in and y'all can sleep on the floor in the hotel if you want to.
Whatever it is.
We'll negotiate later, but I'll meet you guys there. But here's the deal, though. I think going forward, to hell with the Punjabi prison match. I mean, I hope it's a good show and an athletic match. I hope it's better than Brock and Dean Ambrose, which is a gimmick cage match that was trash. But I hope Jinder retains it. I don't see why Orton should win it. And I hope that they ride it out and maybe start a program with AJ Styles, because assuming that Kevin Owens is hurt in some way and he can't really go forward, I think that they go Jinder and AJ Styles. I think that Baron Corbin has to cash in at some point, which I think he should do at the Royal Rumble. And they ride that wave, because you have Survivor Series coming up in November and you have the Rumble in January. And one of those big shows, you can have somebody on Raw threaten to challenge the SmackDown title for reasons at a show, and if they win it, they jump ship. You could have one of the other guys step up from SmackDown and do that whole thing. But I think they should ride the wave for Jinder.
I agree. Get that guy some more merch too. I mean, the first shirt is good.
Yeah. Bro, that's a sexy shirt, by the way. Not sexy like yours, but that's a sexy shirt.
It's a beautiful shirt.
Well, I will say that Braun Strowman got the shorter end of the stick on a new shirt coming out, then getting injured, because this shirt was put on sale immediately when it was released. It was $25 one day, next day it was like $18. So, but Jinder Mahal, get him some more merch. She's the champion, and
right.
For all other reasons we just stated, get that guy some more merch, and the Singh brothers too, because I'm sure that would sell too. All right, Jamal, you know what to do.
Yep. So we talked about Paige earlier and what that means, but actually no, we talked about that earlier, and that was what I had on Do We Care? Because I really don't care about Paige Del Rio anymore. Sega has partnered with WWE to bring you a brand new game. Do we care?
No, I don't.
Yeah. No.
Really?
Okay. Good. Good. But yeah, we talked about WWE overextending earlier, and you just can't have your hands into everything. I think that in the long run, what I would like to see WWE do is double down on their original investment, which is the wrestling. WWE is coming to a point where fans are actually complaining about too much wrestling. There are more pay-per-views. There's SmackDown, Raw, 205 Live, WWE main event, and if you live overseas, you get a couple of extra shows that we don't have here in the U.S. and people are legit going, and NXT, which they genuinely forget about, and people are going, yeah, that's enough wrestling. I think I'm good. So at that point, you kind of hit that point of diminishing returns and maybe dial it back a little bit. And I hope that they get back into that, not in just increasing or limiting their expenditure, and therefore increasing revenue. That's not a guarantee. They need to do something that will bring them more people into their buildings. And I hope they get that going first. John Cena says that his days are numbered in WWE. Do we care?
Yep.
Yeah, we care. We care.
Oh, God. Okay, so Cena, who turned 40 this year, has said that he is officially transitioning into the part-time role. This is the early stages of it. And that he doesn't know how long he has left in the WWE, but he's going to give it his all. Mark Henry is also 46, to give you and he's retiring. So I'm not saying that they're the same person, but, well, they do have a similar background in the weightlifting and stuff like that. But Cena, who, certainly has a bigger name, is definitely branching out into more fields outside of wrestling. He has the Fox TV show. He's going to be in a couple movies. Actually, he has a movie coming out this Christmas called Ferdinand. It's an animated movie. So Cena looks to be on his way out, which also led to rumors about why he is a free agent in the first place. And that's because of the fact that they can insert him as a semi-part-timer, but not a real part-timer yet, where they need him. Raw ratings are going to get murdered by Monday Night Football. Throw Cena on there at 9 o'clock. SmackDown's not doing too well against NBA. Throw Cena in there at 9 o'clock. But unfortunately, Cena's had a good run, whether you like him or not as a character, but is definitely way out on.
Did he help 4th of July ratings?
4th of July ratings, they got crushed.
Sorry, it's funny.
Rusev
no, I mean
Rusev returned.
No, they got
pun intended.
Yeah, they absolutely got murdered on 4th of July. So we talked a little bit about the Mattel and WWE launch, the girls' product line, but I have a little bit more information on what Stephanie McMahon said. Do we care?
No, I was there. You guys could care if you want to.
I didn't. See, the thing about do we care is I automatically don't care. That's why this isn't in the main news. Tiebreaker.
Don't care.
Okay. All right, so that's it. Yeah, we're good. We're good to
go. I'm sorry I ruined the show quickly. So
look, you don't care. You don't care. I mean, the question states: if you care, say so. If you don't, you don't. And that's all he asks.
I don't think it sells. That's what the funny part was. I don't think it works. I mean, a couple little girls are going to buy it, but I'm like, no grown man that collects action figures is buying it. So I didn't see it. So that's why I didn't care.
But I think that the grown men that collect action figures will, because they're the ones that need the Jushin Thunder Liger WCW promotional package from '88 from a Burger King that they can't find anywhere else because they're collectors.
Well, you make fun of me on live radio. Don't do that to me. It's okay. Well, I have all this junk. I'm teasing, Trav. I'm teasing.
No. Because our cohort, also has some various popular culture, figurines as well. So, it is what it is. But the point remains is that outside of the hardcore collectors, I don't know what the kids are into nowadays. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But do little girls play with dolls anymore? I don't know. But
I don't think so. I don't think they do. That's why I don't think it's going to be a success, and that's sad. I really don't think they play with toys anymore.
Barbie had a dream house. Do we have a House of Horrors? WWE.
Okay, so
yes,
these are very serious questions.
Okay, before we get out of here, Edward, take the time to where can people follow your revolution in Nova Pro and other promotions to come?
It's a movement.
You can follow us at One Gated Community, and you can follow us at ed_Dow. So feel free, and let me tell you, it's the 1% era, and I don't know how much time we have left in Nova Pro. that's going to be the bullet for tonight. I don't know how much of an investment that it's worth. There are other promotions reaching out. I am grateful for the friends and the people that I have met. But a champion is a champion, and the champion is required at other places. So I've had fun doing this. I've had fun meeting everybody and enjoying wrestling in a way I've never enjoyed it. It has been great as a fan to come into a place, be accepted, and present something that was your idea, and have it be accepted and welcomed with open arms, and to get to watch a man with talent in Logan Easton LaRoe rise to the top. And like I said, it's the best investment I ever made that didn't involve money. And for everyone that like the Big Gold Belt podcast, I'm going to give a small shout out to Sean over at Squared Circle and all the people that we have met, because it has been the humbling experience of my life to say that wrestling transcends social class, it transcends race, it transcends age, because when you are a fan for life. And I am a millionaire that has a lot of things to do, but I have loved something that was homegrown. I have loved going to the shows. I have loved meeting friends that I would not have met, because the friends I have in business are not the friends you have in life. And I tell you guys, no matter what you do in life, if you have passion, never give up on it. Don't let anyone tell you suck at it. Even if it sucks and it's bad and the money is not always there, if you have the inspiration in your mind to keep plugging along, that God will find a way for you. And there are people like me out there that see it because we had to go through it. We had to dig hard. We had to be told all kinds of things when you failed. But at the end of the day, when we succeeded, the guy that becomes rich doesn't become rich because he counts his money. He becomes rich because he knows how hard the road is. And you give back to the people that want to be up there. You want to see other people succeed. And the fact that you're wearing a shirt that was a concept 6 months ago, James, is an inspiration to me. The fact that I'm talking to you guys in a podcast that may not be seen more than by 100 people, it doesn't matter. The fact is, I spent my time wisely.
100 million people, you mean? 100 million people.
That's 100 million people.
Exactly. We're huge in Bhutan.
Yeah. And that's why, Crab, it's always going to be fun with you. It's like I don't have to play a gimmick when I do this. I can be myself, and it's the only time in life I can be myself, because you're not selling yourself on who you are. Like I said, I loved Nova Pro Wrestling for what it offered. I'm here as long as the Kings want to do business, and I wish everybody the best, and we will be there until the time comes when I think that it's not of benefit to being there.
Right.
But
yeah,
that being said, hey.
Yeah, it's all business. No animosity, no hate. Business is what it is, and there are no hard feelings in business. As Vince McMahon that. No. Ask Bret Hart about that. There are no hard feelings in business.
I never say never. Like I say, as I wake up every day, and Nova Pro is on my mind, and I try my best, and we do what we can. And anytime you guys reach out, I'm quick to answer the phone. So as far as everything else, it's like, I have enjoyed this. I hope the ride doesn't end. But if it does, my wife will probably be a little bit more happy, because, she's like, hey, you never throw money down the drain unless you need to, and you never have made a bad investment. She goes, why do you do this? I do it because I love it. Just like you guys do it because you love it. And those guys get in the ring because they love it. So that's what it's about. It's about supporting something you care about. And I have had fun, and we're going to keep having fun. And I'm going to keep bringing the 1% era and the velvet ropes and the bottles of champagne to the masses. And the character and the person, they represent two things. And I'm glad and I'm fortunate to say, hey, I've made some good friends on this ride. And if the ride ends, by all means, I will toast to you guys, and I will keep going and having fun. So, to you guys.
So, yeah, great. That was the best, mid-career retirement speech that I've heard. It's only Wednesday, and you've made a retirement speech, so that's interesting. But no, it's always great to have you on, Ed. I love the gated community, and I say that seriously, it's you guys have taken a concept, and it had nurtured it. and it has grown from just a seedling to an actual tangible asset. 2 Chainz is wearing the shirt. I'll have mine in August. And it's fun to see something come almost out of nowhere. And it's a great time to have you on. But we must talk again in the future, especially since your boy Logan has a while to wait before his championship is threatened, in Nova Pro at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 1% versus the Carnies is definitely going to be next month's show is going to be a barn burner. And if you don't have your tickets, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Honestly, you're doing it wrong, because that's the place to be. But as much as we love Nova Pro, the wrestling world is so much bigger than our backyard. So wherever you are, wherever you're watching this, if you're shout out to the International Space Station watching us right now. If you are watching us wherever you support your local indie wrestling, Wrestle Circus is on Twitch tomorrow. And Evolve is coming up with different shows. Nova Pro is back in August. CZW had shows in early August. Leo Rush is leaving us for WWE, where they're going to bury him. So it's a good time to be a wrestling fan, and we hope that you continue to support whoever and whatever you like all around the wrestling universe, because it is an infinite number of wrestling content out there for your consumption. But let's leave it here for tonight. It is getting kind of late, and Pokemon Go Fest is tomorrow, so I'll be up early. Yeah, well, look, I mean, you guys have your Scooby-Doo action figures and stuff, and I have Pokemon Go tomorrow, so we all have something. But that's going to do it for us.
I have those too if you want.
Oh God. But
we got some legendaries to get on tomorrow. All right, so we ready. Yeah. I'm suiting it.
And I will talk merch about some gated community shirts, because I'm going to need one in my inventory sooner than later. But that'll do it for us this week. We will see you next Thursday, unless 2 Chainz bails us on us again. Oh, what? Did you not hear that bus coming? I told you the bus was coming, and you were going under it. But that'll do it for us this week. I am Jamal. You can catch me on the Twitter machine at Giant Crab with a K. 2 Chainz over there. We'll see you next week, man.